The gleaming bulbs of Oak Ridge Elementary's gym buzzed above, shedding a stark light on the steel foldable seats lined in tidy rows. Eleanor Harris adjusted her spectacle and glanced at her watch. 6:45 p.m. The Academy's year-end talent display is set to start in 15 minutes, and she had claimed a spot in the central row, near enough to watch her granddaughter Maylee play her clarinet piece, yet not so near that the certain squeaks off novice instruments would be too jarring. Eleanor had frequented these events for over 3 decades, first as a music instructor at Oak Ridge, then as a mother, and now as a grandparent. After retiring 5 years prior, she vowed she was finished with these amateur shows, with their anxious performers and overzealous parents. Yet, here she was, program gripped in hand, nodding courteously at familiar faces from PTA, the gym slowly filled with families dressed in their relaxed finest, the aroma off-floor wax blended with cologne and aftershave. Kids in crisp shirts and Sunday frocks weaved between rows of seats, while parents whispered urgent calls in subdued tones. Eleanor skimmed the program, mentally bracing for the night ahead. 22 performances. It'd be lengthy evening piano recitals, group dances, a magic act, and the 5th grade choir's finale. Nothing she hadn't witnessed countless times. Is this seat free? Eleanor glanced up to see an elderly man pointing to the vacant chair beside her. No, go ahead, she replied, shifting her handbag to clear space. Much obliged, Hesade, settling with a faint wince that hinted at creaky joints. I'm Henry Brooks. My granddaughter transformed tonight. Eleanor Harris, she answered with a warm smile. Mine as well, Zoe Carter. She's playing Pachelbel's Canon on the clarinet. A timeless piece. Henry nodded with appreciation. My Emma's singing. First time in front of a crowd. She's jittery as a deer in a storm. Eleanor grinned at the vivid phrase. Something in his rugged, fast-felt, instantly reliable kind eyes that creased at edges. A soft curve to his lips. Which one, sha? In the program, Eleanor asked, glancing at her sheet. Number 17. Henry replied. Emma Brooks. Eleanor located the name of plain entry. Emma Brooks, vocal solo. No song title, no fanfare. She's been rehearsing for weeks, Henry added, his tone softening. Lives with me out in Sunny Hills Trailer Park. Her mom, my daughter, works double shifts, so it's mostly just Emma and me most evenings. Eleanor nodded, catching the unspoken hardship. Sunny Hills sat on Lubbock's edge, known for its budget homes and diligent residents scraping by. Emma's quiet at school, Henry went on. Her teacher, Miss Thompson, says she hardly speaks above a murmur in class, but when she sings at home, he shook his head in awe. Something extraordinary happens. Before Eleanor could reply, the lights dimmed faintly, and Principal Wentworth stepped to the microphone at the heart of the makeshift stage. The hum of chatter faded as he greeted everyone to the 27th Annual Oak Ridge Elementary Talent Display. The acts kicked off as expected. Twin siblings performed a gymnastics routine to up tunes. A solemn boy played for Elise with robotic accuracy, and the 3rd grade class recited a springtime poem with theatrical gestures. During the break, Eleanor learned Henry had driven trucks for 40 years before ordering to care for Emma, when her mother couldn't afford childcare. Never imagined I'd be raising a kid at 70, he admitted, but that girl's the greatest blessing I've ever had. I get it, Eleanor replied, thinking of her own grandkids. They keep us youthful. Henry nodded, then lowered his voice. Emma's had a tough time. Kids can be harsh about where you live, what you wear. But Miss Thompson heard her humming in class one day, asked her to stay late, and had her sing. Next thing I know, Emma's bringing home a permission slip for this event. The second half unfolded with varying skill and charm. Eleanor's granddaughter, Amelia, played her clarinet solo flawlessly, earning hearty applause. Eleanor glowed with pride, capturing the moment on her phone for Amelia's parents, who were at her brother's soccer match in Austin. As the night wore on, Eleanor found herself checking the program often, counting down to number 17. Henry grew more restless beside her, his calloused hands fidgeting on his lap. Next up, announced Miss Thompson, her kind eyes sparkling with encouragement, we have Emma Brooks. A slight figure stepped slowly onto the stage, and Eleanor felt Henry tense. Beside her, the The girl, no older than 12, had long chestnut hair tied back in a neat ponytail. Sure, a simple floral dress, likely second-hand but freshly rowned, though slightly worn. The microphone stand loomed over her, and Miss Thompson adjusted it to her height. Eleanor caught murmurs around her. Who's she? Must be new. Probably just a warm-up for the choir. Emma stood utterly still, her gaze fixed on the gym's back wall. Her hands, Eleanor noticed, didn't tremble as one might expect. Instead, they rested calmly at her sides as if she'd moved past nerves into a different realm entirely. The gym wasn't fully silent. A baby whimpered in the back. A phone pinged softly. A chair creaked as someone shifted. Then Emma took a deep breath and, without accompaniment, began to sing. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Her voice started gentle, almost hesitant, but clear as a mountain stream. By the second line, a stunning shift swept Jim. Every noise stopped. Every motion froze to 100 people held their breath as one. You make me happy when skies are gray. Her voice filled the space without growing louder, simply stretching to every corner. It wasn't the refined sound of a child with costly lessons, but carried something rarer, an old soul's grasp of joy and pain. A voice that knew sunshine because it had weathered many gray skies. Eleanor felt chills prickle her skin. Beside her, Henry sat still, tears streaming down his rugged cheeks. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. The familiar lyrics, sung by generations of parents to their kids, gained new depth in Emma's voice. Eleanor was whisked back to her childhood kitchen, where her mother sang those words while kneading dough, flour dusting her hands. Please don't take my sunshine away. As Emma moved into lesser-known verses, Eleanor realized she was hearing something profoundly rare, a child who sang not to perform it because the music dwelled within her, demanding release. There was no pretense, no rehearsed gestures, just raw emotion poured through melody. The audience stayed captivated as Emma ended the final verse, her voice fading softly on the last note. For 3 heartbeats, the gym hung in utter silence, a sacred moment when art touches the soul, and no one dares break the spell. Then someone stood and clapped. Others joined, and soon the gym roared with fervent tapless. Eleanor found herself standing, hands stinging from clapping so hard. Without consciously choosing to rise, on stage, Emma looked startled, as if waking from a trance. She gave a shy bow and hurried off as Miss Thompson beamed from the sidelines. That's my granddaughter, Henry whispered, his voice thick with feeling. That's my Emma. Eleanor gazed his arm, at a loss for words. The rest of the showcase blurred by. The 5th grade choice rendition of This Land Is Your Land was lively, but felt oddly lackluster after Emma's act. As families gathered their things and congratulated their young stars, Eleanor scanned the crowd for a glimpse of the girl with the extraordinary voice. She spotted them by the gym doors, Henry with his arm around Emma's slim shoulders, Miss Thompson speaking eagerly to them both. Eleanor paused, then approached. Excuse me, she said, nearing the trio. I just wanted to tell Emma how much I loved her performance. The girl glanced up shyly, her eyes wide. Emma, this is Eleanor, Henry explained. She sat beside me during the show. Your voice is truly special, Eleanor said softly. It brought back memories I hadn't thought of in years. What's that? Emma asked, her voice so faint Eleanor leaned in to hear. That music isn't about flawlessness. It's about connection. Eleanor smiled. I taught music here at Oak Ridge for 30 years. I've heard thousands of kids perform, but rarely have I been so moved as tonight. Emma's cheeks flushed, but she held Eleanor's gaze. I used to sing with my grandpa on the porch, she said, before he passed. He taught me that song. Your grandfather gave you a priceless gift, Eleanor replied, and tonight you shared it with us all. Miss Thompson touched Emma's shoulder. I've been telling Mr. Brooks that Emma should join the district choir next year. They offer scholarships for lessons. Henry's face showed pride mixed with worry. Don't know much about that. Just want what's best for her. Eleanor felt a spark of purpose she hadn't felt since retirement. Perhaps I could help, she said. I still give lessons now and then, special students only. Later that night, as Eleanor drove home beneath a Texas sky studded with stars, she found herself humming You Are My Sunshine. The simple tune had been transformed imbued with new meaning by a reserved girl from Sunny Hills Trailer Park. Over the following weeks, Emma began visiting Eleanor's home twice weekly for voice lessons. Eleanor discovered Emma Hayden almost uncannier. Able to replicate complex melodies after hearing them once, she soaked up music theory like a sponge, asking insightful questions that revealed a profound grasp of music's mechanics. But more vital than Emma's talent was her utter lack of pretense. She sang with the same genuine emotion. Whether practicing scales or tackling pieces beyond her years, she didn't perform, she shared her heart. Henry sat quietly in Eleanor's living room during lessons, sometimes dozing in her cozy armchair, but often watching Emma with quiet awe, as if he couldn't believe the sound from her slight frame. She reminds me of my late wife, he confided one afternoon while Emma used the bathroom. Margaret could sing like that, like she reached straight into your soul. Never did it professionally. Said she preferred singing for those she loved. By summer's end, word spread about the remarkable young singer from the trailer park. When Emma sang at the community Labor Day picnic, the crowd fell silent, just as they had in the gym. Eleanor watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride. That evening, as dusk painted the sky in soft pinks and golds, Eleanor sat on her back porch with Henry and Emma, who was gently swaying on the porch swing, humming softly. Miss Harris, Emma's voice broke the quiet. Do you think I could be a real singer someday? Like make albums and all? Eleanor weighed the question, recalling her own youthful dreams. I believe you can do anything you set your heart to, Emma, she said at last. But remember something key. Emma leaned forward, her face earnest. You're already a real singer, Eleanor continued. A microphone doesn't make you a singer. A record deal doesn't make you a singer. What makes you a singer is having something to say and the courage to share it through music. Henry nodded slowly. That's right, sunshine. You don't need a grand stage. Just keep telling your story. Emma seemed to ponder this, hairy-own face thoughtful beyond her years. I think I get it, she said. It's like when Grandpa and I sang on the porch. No one was listening except maybe the stars. But it still mattered. It always matters. Eleanor agreed. Every time you share your gift, you're kindling something in the world that wasn't there before. As if to prove it, Emma began singing softly into the fading light. Not You Are My Sunshine this time, but an old hymn Eleanor recalled from her childhood. Henry joined in on that gruss, his gruff bass anchoring Emma's clear soprano. Eleanor listened, her eyes letting the music wash over her like a blessing. In her long life, she had known many joys and sorrows, built a career and family, and seen the world shift in ways both wondrous and painful. But here, on her porch with this unlikely duo, managing truck driver and a gifted child from the trailer park, she felt she was part of something truly miraculous. The moment when music transcends mere performance and becomes connection. The song ended, and the three sat in quiet harmony as the first star merged in the deepening sky. No applause was needed, no praise or echo, just the shared knowledge that, in this moment on the simple porch in Lubbock, Texas, something extraordinary had unfolded. True music, Eleanor reflected, didn't need a vast stage, just a heart that knew its story and, perhaps, someone ready to listen. Emma Brooks had both.